everybody? Welcome back to another episode, our fourth episode of Admit One, and it is going to get wicked up in here today. I am Jaden. You can call me J-Dog. My fiance calls me J-Bob. And this is T-Bog, Tristan. Anywho, if you couldn't tell from the epic intro, the movie that we are discussing today is Wicked. Literally, it's Wicked. It's Wicked Part 1. It wasn't teased as Wicked Part 1, but it was directed by John Chu. Stars Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, and Jeff Goldblum, and it came out last year in 2024. It is, like I said, a two-part movie with the second half releasing this year in 2025.
I have so many notes about Jeff Goldblum. Little
synopsis.
But we'll get to that whenever we get to that.
No, go ahead. Hit me with it, because I love some Goldblum.
Olivia loves some Goldblum. I just wasn't expecting him to be in the movie, especially to the capacity that he is in the movie. But we'll talk about that whenever we actually get to that part, because I don't want to ruin anything just yet.
Yeah, we're going to try and keep it in order this time, because it was hard last episode, because I don't know if any of y'all went and watched that movie yet. The Room, Tommy Wiseau's The Room. It was horrible. We could have an episode 2 just talking again about how bad that movie is. Yeah, I mean, it was just so bad. But what Wicked is, or what Part 1 is, it is about Elphaba, a young woman who was ridiculed for having green skin, and Galinda, a popular girl, at Shiz University in the Land of Oz. They go on an encounter, meet the Wizard of Oz, and their friendship reaches a crossroads. It is an origin story, not officially canon to like the Wizard of Oz, but basically about Galinda the Good and the quote-unquote Wicked Witch of the West.
There is no way it is not canon with the Wizard of Oz.
No, it's really, I swear to God, it's not canon, because the book was just written, hold up.
When the intro, it shows the flying monkeys, and then it like starts painting over like the entire land of Oz. And then at one point it shows, Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion walking on the yellow brick road towards the Emerald City. Like, there's no way it is not.
Well, see, canon. I know that is. See, that was cool. But here's the thing. So the novel Wicked was written by Gregory Maguire, and it was originally published in 1995. And the novel of The Wizard of Oz is L. Frank Baum, if I am correct. Hold up. Wizard of Oz author. Yeah, it's L. Frank Baum. And that was published in the 1900s. So two different authors. It's like 80 years apart. I don't know. That's why like they couldn't have the ruby red slippers in the movie.
Well, they did though at one point, which I will also get to because I have a note on.
All right. I guess we should go ahead, get into the notes. That's pretty much it though. That's pretty much it. The main character is Elphaba, a green gal, and Galinda, a good gal, and there's another fella named Fiyero who's like a new guy at the school.
The Prince of Swords. I don't know how to
really cover all the characters. There's Madame Morrible, who's Madame Horrible. But all right, I guess we should start off by just going. Let's go back and forth with our notes. So what do you got in terms of your first note?
Dude, my first note is just simply talking about how stunning the visuals and the animations are right out of the gate, and just shows how big the world is and how diverse the world is. Because like I said, it goes from the pan of
I agree,
where it shows the hat, and then it's like the flying monkeys. It looks like a swamp, and then it goes over the waterfall, and it's a field, and then it shows the Emerald City. Like it's maybe 20 to 30 seconds long, but it just shows how massive the Land of Oz truly is, and it just captures it so beautifully.
Yeah, the whole movie was absolutely just beautiful and breathtaking, and I'll get into it on the facts later, but a lot of it was, not a majority, but a lot of it was practical sets, which is absolutely stunning. the high notes in the beginning of that movie, well, actually throughout the whole movie, but in the beginning when she's singing in the bubble, it's just absolutely breathtaking. And one of the lines she said in that opening, or with the little girl, she runs up in the beginning and she says, "Was she born wicked?" And then Glinda's like, "Is anyone born wicked? Or is wickedness just inherently thrust upon us?" That is such a powerful...
Oh yeah, dude, that was so deep.
Woo! Woo!
I don't pay attention to any of the cast, like, whenever we go into a movie, because I just want to be surprised from every single aspect. I had no idea that there was Ariana Grande in that bubble until it popped.
Wow. Speaking of that bubble popping, I thought it was really funny when they were trying to talk to her after that song.
It was muffled and she had to pop it again.
What? And she pops the bubble.
Like, that was such a good little detail that they did not have to put in. But, God, every single detail in this movie could not have been any better than what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, as we said about Tommy Wiseau's movie, it was so horrible. This movie, complete opposite. It was so beautiful.
You're killing me, Galinda.
Oh my God. When she was born, because the movie opens with like, so that's the thing. I'm sure you caught on after you finished the movie. But I'm sure you saw it was to be continued. So part 2, like I said, is coming out this year. That beginning sequence with all that takes place after the events of the whole movie, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
After that, she starts telling the story of how they met and all that. So that whole movie is pretty much her telling that story. I wonder how she got her powers. You know, if you've watched the musical, listened to the musical, read the book, like the actual Broadway story, it goes over the whole thing in 3 hours, but they split this into 2 movies. But anywho, it goes back and it talks about Elphaba being born, and there's a little song, and you know, that little part where it goes, "Have a little drink of green elixir." When it talks about the mom going off, or the dad going off.
I didn't know this was a musical.
Really?
One of my notes says, "Jesus Christ, it's a musical."
But I have a speculation. I haven't looked further into the plot, but that voice that was singing, that came, the guy that came and like is Elphaba's father that we don't know. Mm-hmm. I think it's the wizard. I don't know if it's the wizard, but that was Jeff Goldblum singing.
Oh.
When he goes, "Have a little drink of green elixir." So I thought that.
Oh,
but when she was born, I wrote Jolly Green Munchkin.
I thought it was just a bottle of Jaeger.
And then they were teasing her in the courtyard right after that. And right before they were teasing her, they had the baby in the wheelchair, which, by the way, the representation of disabilities in this movie was absolutely breathtaking, because the woman that played Nessa Rose is actually disabled.
Oh, was she really?
She's wheelchair bound, and yes, and she did her own stunts, and they said that they did them respectfully, and it was just
it was a really inclusive movie, from like the LGBT community to, like, you know, people with disabilities.
With the underlying themes.
Yeah, it was. Everything on it could not have been better than what it actually was.
But I wrote down that baby Nessa Rose was so cute, because she says, "Hey, Nessa," and the baby girl goes, "What?" And it's just so precious. It melted my heart. Well, you want to hit me with anything?
Just, I mean, straight at the beginning, the Munchkins, they already had the choreography down and the song and the statue. They have just been waiting for the day, like, for her to die for so many years, for all of them to already know the song.
Dude, yes, and that's what it opens with. Like, even the musical, it opens up with, "Good news, she's dead," which is funny because I saw a TikTok way before I'd ever seen the movie of them doing the musical at London, and it was after the Queen died, and they were like, "Due to the tragic circumstances of the Queen's passing, we have to..." I'm sorry, I need to change my accent. "Due to the tragic circumstances of the Queen's passing, we have to inform you that tonight's show of Wicked will still continue with the normal opening. Enjoy the show." And then it opens up and it goes, "Good news, she's dead." Yeah, dude, but could you imagine being a Munchkin like, oh boy, I hope I get a speaking part. I hope I get to sing a little.
Man, I'm just upset that, in the original Wizard of Oz, and this is going to like take a really dark turn, but the Munchkins were treated horribly to the point where one of them like killed himself on set. And in the original on VHS, you could see him swinging.
In like the original
background.
Wizard of...
Yeah, my grandmother had it.
Oh,
I remember
my
watching
God.
it as a kid, and then they ended up editing it and putting like a crane or some big bird there instead of his swinging corpse. You can still find the video online though.
There's a lot wrong with the Wizard of Oz. If we ever watch that movie, that will be I watched like a 3-hour documentary over how that cursed that movie is, with all the hospitalizations and Judy Garland being force-fed amphetamines. I put that Ariana, or Galinda's, I guess I should refer to her as her character name, but Galinda's comedic timing, Ariana was, God, Galinda was so funny in this movie. I didn't know that Ariana could act like that.
I didn't either. She was so dumb and ditzy to like the best degree imaginable.
Yeah. Yeah. The hair flips, amazing.
Yes.
There's a scene when they show up to the school, where, it's the scene where she goes, oh, "You're green," and she goes, "I am." Throughout the trailers of that movie they released, they cut together 4 different versions of that, because, oh my God, he just sent a picture of the Munchkin in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is crazy. That is wild. I don't know if I'm able to put that picture up on the YouTube version. I'm sorry, you'll have to look it up on your own.
Yeah, just look at Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
Dead Munchkin. Oh, the last surviving adult Munchkin died in 2018 at the age of 97.
Wow.
Some Munchkin actors fled Nazi persecution in Europe. There's a lot of Munchkin facts on here. Anyway, back to
the transitions were great.
Yes, from scene to scene there was flow, and you wasn't lost. Like this movie is the epitome of cinema. They did it so well.
And here's a reason why. John Chu, the director of that movie. So I know all this just because after I watched this movie for the first time, back when I watched it after its release, I was a fanatic for a while, and this has reignited it. So I'm slowly remembering. I'm having a amnesia recovery for Wicked facts, but John Chu was a big fan of the musical, and Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo themselves, like, this has been a passion of theirs for a long time. Ariana went to go see Wicked with her grandmother on Broadway at the age of 5 and got to meet the original actresses, Idina Menzel, and I cannot remember the name of the other one, Kristen something, I believe, who were actually in the movie, but I'll get on that later. I have that later in my facts.
Well, that's cool.
They were such big, they were such big fans that, like, John called them, was like, "Ariana, I want you to be our Galinda," and she just started bawling, and she was like, "You've made the dreams of a little girl very, very happy. You have," and she was like, "I'm gonna do her good. I'm gonna do Galinda good."
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, oh, I'm teared up talking about it. It's amazing. Which, speaking of Galinda being good, when they're doing that musical number and it's like, "Dear Galinda, you are just too good," and they're doing that choreography with the books. God, that choreography hits so good.
Oh, the one in the library?
Not maybe. I mean, they were walking kind of outside. That one, are you thinking of Dancing Through Life?
Yeah, that's one that I'm thinking
and turning.
of. Yeah.
Dude, that one's a banger.
Oh
that
my
one's a banger.
gosh. So I don't like musicals. I didn't really like that song, and I so hate to jump forward, but the way, like, they had that section of the library where it was just spinning in circles, and how they were utilizing
that was
for
really
the choreography.
Cool. I had a note about that too.
Oh my God, that was so awesome.
It was. Oh,
Tommy Wiseau could never.
That I could not. Which, by the way, surprise, this episode is not the disaster artist. I know we said that it
Oh
was gonna be,
yeah,
but oopsie daisy.
I'm kind of dumb, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We were just so excited about it. But talking about the library, talking about the yeah. Okay, so a fun fact: throughout the whole movie, anytime that you see Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo on screen, they are singing live while doing anything that they are doing. Just those two characters. Everyone else is lip syncing, except for maybe Jonathan, the guy that played Fierro, who's doing the dancing through life. But they are singing live. When she's running and jumping through that field, she's doing it live. Defying gravity, she's doing it live.
Wow.
She is.
I kind of figured
actively singing.
Ariana was just because of like her actual like musical career. But I didn't know that Cynthia Erivo, or however you say her last name, was also doing the same thing. That is insane.
Yeah.
And
I wrote, God, I love dancing through life.
But man, that song like about the Wicked Witch would go so hard if a metal band redid it. I do not remember how it goes, but it was just really dark.
The ending song?
I have the note more towards the beginning, so I'm not entirely sure which one it is.
Okay.
It's before the pregnancy, because the next note after that is the Wicked Witch is an illegitimate love child. So it's within the first like 5-6 minutes, I would imagine.
Oh, probably like when at the beginning when it comes out that the Munchkin comes out and it's like, no one mourns the wicked.
Yes, that one.
Never grow. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, that one would go so
See,
hard.
I love
with
it, but
a
I didn't
metal
learn all the
band.
words, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah,
I could see that. Okay.
Yeah, and like speaking like,
Go ahead.
why was the doctor a bear? Like Dulcie Bear, whatever its name was. How did that happen?
Dude, I wrote down Dulcibear.
How?
Because I don't know. Well, you gotta, as you find out later on, the animals can talk and they have jobs and they're trying to take that away.
Yeah, and I still want to know more on that, which explains like the entire plot of the movie. So we should wait to spoil that.
What do you got still leading up? What do you got? Because I could keep talking, and I want to let you talk for a bit because I can just, dude, I can keep. This could be a 3-hour podcast if it needed to be. I mean,
when Galinda is talking to Bach or whatever his name is, and she says that strangers are people I've never met, like she just quoted the definition of what a stranger is. Like she said that like she thought she had like some profound wisdom and like such a deep thought, but she could have just opened up Webster's dictionary and read the definition of stranger.
there was another reference later on in the movie to the Wizard of Oz, in which when they take the lion cub from the classroom after Dr. Dillamond, who we haven't touched on yet. Dr. Dillamond was their history professor. He was a goat. He was a talking... Wait. Yeah, he was a goat, right?
Yeah, because I have a note that says, why is the professor a goat? But then I actually have a note on that scene that you're talking about on the bike, because it's like one particular frame is shot the exact same as that scene in The Wizard of Oz.
Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. That the way that cub pokes out of the bike is a reference to how Toto poked out on The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that was my Nana's favorite movie, so I watched it so many times as a kid growing up. Like, I've seen The Wizard of Oz at least like 400 times. So I noticed a lot of the Easter eggs in this movie.
I've only seen it through about once, maybe twice.
I don't want to watch it another time at any point in my life, but I've seen it
So
since
the
then.
next set of notes that I have is pertaining to when they get to Oz. So I'm going to let you go off yours, and I will throw back at you until you get back up into that point.
But I like it when they're singing, like when they're in the bedroom and they're singing about each other and like describing each other.
Loathing.
Yeah,
Unadulterated loathing.
And like Ariana uses all these words to describe Elphaba, and then Elphaba just describes Glinda as blonde. And like there was just so much tension. I wish they'd have just kissed and got it over with.
Oh my god! So apparently there's supposed to be some energy like that there. That scene is fantastic. I was grooving in my car to that. I love that song so much.
Yeah, and then when Elphaba is, I don't know if it's like a secret garden or whatever. When she finds that giant head, I guess it's supposed to be the wizard. I was looking at it. I was looking. I was like, that head kind of looks like Jeff Goldblum, but I know it's not.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I can't do Jeff Goldblum. I want to learn his voice so bad. Yes. There's a Family Guy bit they did. It wasn't Family Guy, but Seth MacFarlane released this other thing called Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Cartoon Comedy. That is a mouthful.
Say that 5 times fast.
And Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Cartoon Comedy, 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 Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Cartoon... Ah!
Got him.
Man, almost had it. There's a bit in that, and he's Jeff Goldblum, and it's like, hi, I'm Jeff Goldblum, here advertising, yes, Jeff Goldblum wafers, and you're gonna just take a little bite of the wafer here, yes, and it's delightful, yes, and it's delicious, yes, and... Not the best, but I think I'm working on it. I'm getting
You're getting there. But what was like, speaking of the goat professor, what was up with the weird flashback that Elphaba had with him in a cage? Or was it like...
I saw that.
Well, yeah, so was it like her seeing the future or her seeing the past? Because it didn't really emphasize much more.
Despite all my rage.
I'm just a goat in a cage. Bad.
Dude, I don't know. I'm hoping it gets into that in part 2. Olivia tells me, because she knows the whole lore, but I ask her not to spoil anything for me. Because I'll ask her questions, she's like, I'm not answering that. That's too big.
Bro, whenever part 2 comes out, I am driving to you, and we are watching this thing in person.
Dude, I wish we could like rent out a theater and just record a cam of us like watching it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. We need sponsors, so if you want to sponsor us so we can rent out a theater, or we could rent it out anyway and charge people tickets to come and hang out with us and make our money back.
Dude, shut up. We'd have like...
It would just be my mom. me, you, and my mom watching a movie.
She'd have an Admit One t-shirt with our faces on it.
Oh, that's a new merch idea.
No, I don't want my face on a shirt. But I think a little light yellow shirt with a little ticket stub on like a titty pocket would be nice.
Dude, light yellow would show so much sweat though. What we need instead is a tie-dye shirt.
Dude, that's cool, but I bet costs are expensive.
I know a guy.
Yellow ticket.
I know a guy. So you can buy
I know it.
So I run merch for Dreadadale, and I'm in the process of like figuring out merch for Cat Like Thief. And you can actually buy bulk black t-shirts online for like $2 a shirt. And there's places where you can like bring in your own shirts and they'll put the thing on for you. But there's a guy I know who lives in London, Kentucky. I think that's where he lives. He actually did a run of merch for Dreadadale that was tie-dyed for some of our shows that we played, and he only charged us like $3 or $4 a shirt. He's really, really cheap. So that is an option for some future merch.
That would be cool. I'd rep one. I'd for real rep one.
100% I would. Oh, when Elphaba's walking through the forest after the goat professor eavesdropping, whatever, and then she gets ran over by, I can't remember the guy's name, the prince, Piorgi, something like that. And the first thing he says is like, oh, I didn't see you because you were blending in with the foliage. Like, that's the worst introduction, I think, that any human could have said to another human.
Yeah, that's racist.
Yeah. I don't know if green's a race, but
that's what I was.
It was very greenest.
I was like, well, when they get to Oz, Am I good to give a fact about that? Am I good
Dude,
to skip forward a
absolutely.
little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh, actually, no, because I don't want to skip by this because I texted you about this today, and I think you know what scene I'm about to bring up.
Oh, the ball.
Because this scene was so powerful, and even just the Oz Dust Ballroom.
Yes, that's actually my next note was how good the band was, and it was just a bunch of animals, and it is what the Chuck E. Cheese band should have been, and that Sugar Glider is a way better drummer than I will ever be. But that whole scene is so like powerful just from like a humanity standpoint.
Yes.
Like if you've not watched the movie, so prior to that, Glinda invites Elphaba to the ball, and she was like, "Oh, have this hat, and it's the witch's hat," and there's conversations, and she shows up wearing it, and she just gets absolutely mocked and ridiculed and laughed at, and she walks through the crowd.
She walks in and everybody just stops.
Yeah, and then she just walks into the middle of the crowd. They disperse. She sets the hat down and does some weird little awkward hat dance with tears coming down her face. I probably should have phrased that better.
Dude, she walks in, everyone stops, and then Galinda actually, like, for once in her life, feels some kind of sadness and, like, feels bad for doing this to this poor girl who just wants to fit in.
And
so,
the
like,
way that Ariana
embraces it,
you can see it on her face. She played that part so well. Like, you can actually watch her face change.
Do you know why? You know why?
Did they grow up friends or something?
They didn't rehearse that scene together.
Did they not?
They didn't rehearse that scene together. The first time they did that dance, like they may have practiced like the dance, but the first time that they like did that together was there. At that time, that shoot, that recording.
Dang.
And that's why it hit so strong. So she starts doing this weird dance, and Galinda, who is still Galinda,
oh yeah, I have a note on that as well towards the end.
she starts doing it, and then Fiero's like, "What are you doing?" And then like they start doing this dance together and crying, and like a soft melodic version of I Believe Dancing Through Life is playing. And it just gets you. It gets you down to your core.
Dude, it was so deep.
It's such a powerful
And then
scene.
to the point where at the end, everybody was joining in, and it changed who Elphaba was on that campus at SU, talking Shiz University. Oh, and the Rose, what was her name? Was it Rose, the wheelchair girl?
Nessa Rose.
Yeah, Nessa Rose. She wore the sparkly shoes that her dad gave her when she first got there to the campus. But did you notice that in the spokes of the wheelchair, the design, it looked like balls and a wiener?
No, I cannot say that I did.
Okay, that must have just been me.
It just pop an image in the chat right quick and let me verify.
All right, let me find it real quick. I'll let you I'll let you talk.
Okay. So when they get to Oz later on, well, I guess before, I keep trying to jump forward to this because I'm so excited to share this fact, but there's a big crisis going on in this whole world. It's oppression of animals, which I believe leads to like a undertone of government control and whatnot, and watching out for it. But they're silencing animals. They're taking away animals' ability to speak. Like he said, that bear was a doctor, that goat was a professor. He was the goat for real. They're taking away their ability to speak and oppressing them and forcing them to do things and corrupting them. I'm not going to say who they is yet because we don't know. Okay, yeah, that does look kind of phallic.
Yeah, I told you.
I see it. He dropped a picture of the wheelchair. He's not crazy.
We can put that on the YouTube.
But my fact is when they get to Oz, Elphaba gets invited to meet the wizard because the professor, Madame Horrible, or Madame Horrible, whatever you want to call her, she notices that she made everyone fall asleep with poppies because Ozians fall asleep due to poppies, as I'm sure you know from the original Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. I was like, that scene feels really familiar
Yeah.
somehow. I didn't make the connection until you said that.
But the headmaster noticed and let the wizard know, and she got her invite to Oz, and Glinda tagged along because they just cannot be separated. Oh my God, how precious. There's this big, extravagant musical number, and I've got a few facts about this.
Dude, the intro, like, for
actresses-
them going into Oz was insane.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, the original musical actresses that played Elphaba and Glinda said their names earlier, Idina Menzel, and I still don't know the other girl's name. I'm sorry. They were the two ladies that were singing to them about the wizard. That was them. The one that hit that high note, that was them. That played them in Broadway. Really cool.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
When they're like, the wizard, he could read our Grimoire, and it pulls up that hologram of him.
Yeah.
He says, verbatim, he says, Omaha, Omaha. And the reason he says that is because he's from Nebraska.
I thought he was just mimicking Peyton Manning. I have a note that says, what was the prophecy? I don't know what that means.
You were curious about what the prophecy was that they were singing about.
Oh, yeah.
Being
That must...
foretold.
Okay, yeah, that
To
must
read
have
the
been
Grimoire.
it.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you. And then they get in to meet the wizard, and it's a yellow brick road. Callback right there with when they're having them decide the colors. Like, pick the color, pick the color.
Oh, yeah.
He goes through red, green, yellow, blue, and he's like, wait, go back one, yellow. And he's like, yellow, really? Yellow brick road.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. The part where they're riding the bike and the frame matches to the like bike tornado scene in The Wizard of Oz was really cool. And where did he take the cub? He just grabbed it and ran and was pretty much like, I'll see you later. And I don't think we ever saw that little cub again.
Yeah, I think, so you know how we saw that cub, like, not that, well, we saw that cub, but you know how we saw all four of them at the very beginning of the movie walking towards Oz?
Yeah. Oh.
Like the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, Dorothy, and
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
Yeah.
I think that cub is going to be the Cowardly Lion.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think that somehow it's going to be a play in part 2. But I have no idea if one of the characters we already know is going to be the Scarecrow. I have no idea if like someone somehow is going to get turned into the Tin Man. Don't know.
I don't know either. And then I have a note that says Jeff Goldblum is Oz, but he's not Oz.
That reveal,
his
reveal was amazing. He's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I was not expecting
his musical
that.
number was great.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Was that actually him singing? Like, I know, I'm sure they like dubbed it over.
Yeah, they dubbed it over. Yeah, but it was him.
I didn't know he could sing. Yeah, it was. You could tell he's not like an actual singer, but it was still really good. And then finding out that he's not actually, can we say that he's actually not?
Yeah, we can say it because we're about to get up to it.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a fraud. He's
Yeah,
a fraud.
he's not-
a
he's-
big fat phony.
He's not a wizard at all, and that's the whole reason that he sent Elphaba the letter was just
Because she could read the Grimoire.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the name of it was.
Yep, that's fine. She wanted to. So what they do is they convince her, him and Madame Horrible. Hence why I call her Madame Horrible. She has been big on helping the animals this entire time, and they know that. And she's like, "Yeah, you." They trick her. They say Chester here. He's like Jeff Goldblum is like Chester, my little guardian. He loves watching birds. He'd love to fly. And so they tell her to read a spell from the Grimoire, and she starts doing this crazy reading that language. And they all grow wings, and that scene is extremely, extremely hard to watch. Very freaky watching them all grow wings, but she realized that she was hurting them. And then they start talking about how they're going to make the perfect spies to spy on animals. And I'm like, she's hurt.
Yeah, dude, that was such a big betrayal, that part.
I actually have in all caps written, and when I say in all caps, it is not typed on a keyboard caps, my friend. This is written in my handy dandy notebook. I said all caps, he's a fraud, underlined 3 times. There was a scene right after that where Madame Morrible, she comes walking out of that room, and there's a scene where like the monkeys are just flying behind her, and she looks so villainous. And I wrote the cinematography was 10 out of 10, just once again throughout the whole movie. Did not feel like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
No, it really didn't. It went by very quickly. Every scene in the movie was cinema. It was good.
It was, I mean, yeah. They really immersed you in the land of Oz. It's funny because, as I've said prior, my dog's name is Ozzy, so every time they'd say Ozzy, and I'd be like, "That's my dog. My dog's Ozzy."
They did such a good job, like showing the progression of Elphaba and how she slowly started becoming wicked. Because during the whole movie, I'm like, this girl is so sweet. How does she become the Wicked Witch of the West? And even to like the end of the movie, she's still a good person. So I'm not sure where part 2 is going to pick up, but like the change I feel is going to be kind of rapid, but so
and it's
good.
crazy because we know how it ends. Dorothy soaks her with water and she dies, So, like, that's not a spoiler. That's like, that movie was released 100 years ago at this point. Like the original Wizard of Oz. Even though it's not canon, it's still like, So, like, that breaks my heart, first off, that we know Elphaba's going to die at some point.
Yeah, but I wonder who they're going to have to be Dorothy.
Well, I wonder if Dorothy's even going to be in it. Like, I wonder if that little cameo was it. Because I don't know if she dies in Wicked, I don't know what happens in part 2. I know nothing.
I mean, like, Dorothy will have to be in it because they started celebrating the death of her, of the Wicked Witch.
True. But yeah, that touches on one of the underlying motifs of prejudice, judging people based on outward appearance rather than the character. Underneath, everyone disliked her because she was green, but she was this sweet, smart, funny, charismatic individual.
Very sassy.
Very sassy. And it's great. It was great. She gave the wizard some serious sass when she shoved the Grimmery at him and said, "Read it. Go ahead, read it." And he just stared at it. He was like, Omaha. Peyton Manning.
But even when they were like in class and she would like answer the professor's question, and then Galinda would be like, "Hasn't she ever heard of raising her hand?"
Oh, speaking of which, we skipped over that. She changed her name from Galinda to Glinda.
Oh yeah,
the Good Witch. Not the Good Witch yet, but technically yet in the beginning, but. Because out of respect for like Dr. Dillamond, the goat who got locked up.
Yeah, like how did they arrest a goat?
You saw how they arrested
him, dude.
They walked in there and they just grabbed him.
They just grabbed him by his horns and his hoofs and just took him out of there. But like the name change of Solidarity was unexpected. I did not think that was going to happen.
Bad to the bone. Practically the motifs thing was the last thing I had. One of the other motifs I had was standing for your beliefs. No matter when Elphaba, no matter where she went, what she did, she stood up for what she thought was right, even in the face of one of the most powerful leaders in the land. She said, "No, I'm not going to help you because what you're doing is not what I believe." And that is powerful. I actually just remembered I had notes electronically. I had like notes that weren't related to the movie, but just like thoughts I wanted to bring up.
What's those notes? Because
Why did we stop at Mambo number 5?
Where's 1 through 4?
I don't know why that was just a thought. Like Mambo number 5 was playing at work and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was like, why did we go and stop at 5?
Let's make number 6. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 6. It's just going to be a drums track and a ukulele track because that's all I can play. Who comes up with the slogans on greeting cards was another thought that I had this week. Like, is there some guy sitting in an office, like some dingy lamp above his head? He's just sitting there scrawling away like, to my wife, another year with you. Good thing I'm not dead, 'cause I can't live without you. Next. Like throwing them over his shoulder.
I'm sure they have like Chat GPT write some of their stuff. But I have a story of how I thought I was getting pulled over the other night.
But right, one thing before you say that.
Okay.
First time I'd ever been in the front seat of a car getting pulled over was with you.
Okay, we need to tell that story because I don't remember it. Like, I vaguely do, but I don't remember.
We were coming home from church, and I'll make it short so you can get to yours. We were coming home from church, and we were going through the tunnel, and your tags were expired, and you had the new tags in your back seat, but you hadn't put them on yet because you didn't have bolts. And when we get pulled over, I'd never
You
been
were
in a
sitting
car
there
with someone
freaking
getting
out.
pulled over before. And I looked at you and I said, did we get pulled over because the music you're playing is too loud?
I think we were listening to Blink 182.
And you just started laughing and you said, no, dude, no, I blare my music all the time. And I said, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And you said, dude, just relax. But go ahead. What was the premise of your story again?
I want to finish that one because I actually remember that now. But when he was like, do you know why I pulled you over? I was like, no. And he mentioned that the tags were expired. And I was like, oh, I actually have them right here. No, it was license plate. I think I had just got the car and the temporary tag was expired. That's what it was. The temporary tag was expired. And I didn't have the bolts or whatever to put on the license plate just because I had kept forgetting to actually go and do that. So he was like, Advanced Auto Parts right up here on the right sells. And I'm like, you're right, they do. And I'm pretty sure we went straight there, didn't we? Probably not.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that's what I said, probably not. But my story of I thought I was getting pulled over. So I live in legitimately the middle of nowhere. Like, you go to the middle of nowhere and you keep going and you take a right. I'm on the road before, like, my driveway. And blue lights start flashing behind me. My heart instantly goes to my butthole. And I'm like, why am I getting pulled over on this road in the middle of nowhere? I'm going like 5 miles an hour. What did I do? And then I start hearing a noise. And then I realize it's my son's scooter in the back. It's a Spider-Man scooter. And for some reason, it flashes blue. And they had my wife and the kids went to the park earlier that day. I hit a bump. It caused it to slide, which caused the lights to trigger. So, yeah, I thought I was getting pulled over because of a scooter.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I was...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did you say you pulled over before you realized?
No, I was about to, but I didn't have anywhere to pull over. But the lights went off before I could, pull off somewhere. So that's why I was like, those lights went off way too quickly. And then it happened again. And then I noticed that there wasn't any headlights. And then I heard the scooter sliding around. So I just kind of put the pieces together and realized that I'm an idiot.
Oh, I didn't think, I had no intention of bringing this up on the podcast, but it's interesting, so why not? I work at a grocery store. Don't really want to give away what grocery store, but I work at a grocery store. And across from the grocery store that I work at today, there was a bank that got robbed. And I just thought that was absolutely crazy. Did
y'all not get put on lockdown or anything?
Nope. I didn't even know. I didn't even know until 2 hours after it happened. Someone's like, "Your bank right across the street got robbed." I said, "Huh?" But then a news article came out later, and it was like he didn't even have a weapon. He just gave him a note and said he had a weapon.
What a loser. It's like the guy that said that lemon juice doesn't appear on paper, so he doused himself in lemon juice, thinking he wouldn't be seen by the cameras, and then went and just walked into a bank dripping from lemon juice and tried to rob the place.
Ma'am, can you describe the victim? Citrusy?
Tall white male smelled of lemon.
Lemon, ma'am? Yeah, kind of like Pledge. I don't know. Every time I think of Pledge, I think of Consuela from Family Guy. No, me no have more lemon Pledge. No. Mr. Superman no home, no. Hey, kitty. I got a $7 turkey. That happened.
Oh yeah, did you ever
cook
cook
the
that
in-laws
thing?
to use for their... No, I gave it to the in-laws to use for Easter. They're keeping it frozen.
Oh, okay. I told my mom the other day, she was like, "What are we doing for our Easter meal?" I was like, "Let's do turkey." I don't think we're doing turkey.
Dude, I saw your mom post some hibachi that she was cooking up at the house the other day on Facebook.
Dude, I ate so much.
Dude, I wanna learn. I want to learn how to do that. I don't have a Blackstone or anything, but I'd love to be able to, like, I don't know how to do the rice. So if she could,
dude,
help me with some pointers, Mama June, if you're listening.
Dude, I do Blackstone hibachi all the time.
See, all I've got is my little skillet and my stove oven.
Dude, I'll teach you how to do it in a skillet as well. It is easy.
Please.
I got you, buddy.
Please. I just recently cooked my first steak.
I saw that it
I'll
was
put
a
the picture
nice
up.
it was a nice medium well. I would have eaten it. It looked delicious.
It's a medium rare and a medium well. It was a little less done than I wanted, but it was good. See, you like yours crazy raw.
Dude, yeah, man. Like, it sits on each side, so I get the pan like as hot as possible, and it sits for like a minute and a half on each side, and it is done.
Dude, I was like 5 minutes on each side.
Oh my god.
Oh man. I realized we never gave the movie a score.
I'm pretty sure I gave my score throughout the entire thing. Mine is 10 out of 10. Even though I don't like musicals, the bits between the musicals, flawless. And even like the musical part, it still pertained to the movie, and it wasn't like some musicals, like they'll sing and it's just weird and out of place. In here, like in Wicked, it was still weird because it's a musical, but it flowed really, really well. And like the choreography with it was just immaculate. How every single person in that scene was somehow involved. I give Wicked Part 1 a 10 out of 10. Could not have been any better.
And, I was fighting really hard about what I wanted to give it because I was, I'm not going to lie, I was being stubborn. I said, man, this movie's good, but do I want to give it a 10? Do I want to give any movie we review a 10? I was going to give it a 9.5 just to be stubborn. But
I had texted you and I was like, well, this is a movie and I didn't want to get into it. And I was being so stubborn just because it was a musical. But man, I got so sold and so into it. It was, I would watch it again.
I was worried. I told Olivia, I said, I texted him about it, and he said it's a movie, and I don't know how he's going to... Oh, man. Yeah, I would watch it. I told Olivia I might have to watch it every month until the part 2 comes out.
I'm 100% going to watch it again before part 2. Oh, is it Carly that suggested this one?
I'm pretty sure it was Carly, dude, and she's been commenting on our
posts. Watch it not be her.
Well, if it wasn't, I'm sure Olivia would want it to be reviewed, and anyone else who's seen it would want it to be reviewed. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Hey!
Beautiful cinematography. The actresses, and actors were amazing.
They were chosen for their roles perfectly.
That sassy Asian gay fella was one of my favorite characters.
Oh my god.
He's a Saturday Night Live actor. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
But
like from him to the blonde lady that was with him to even Bach the ginger munchkin.
Ugh.
Like even the person that got to play him was just immaculate.
He plays SpongeBob in the Broadway musical of SpongeBob.
Oh, that makes me like him a little less.
And I also realized this is the first time that we have went into the podcast, and we don't know what our next movie's going to be.
That's
We have
right.
absolutely no idea. We haven't spun the wheel.
Jaden, you know what that means? We have to do live recorded, right?
Oh my God.
We
I'm
have to
pulling it
spin
up
the
now.
wheel, baby.
So all the suggestions that, oh no.
I mean, in the last episode, I don't really think we said that Wicked was next. We said it was
No.
I always call it The Escape Artist. What's the name of the
Okay.
actual movie?
The
Disaster Artist. Yeah,
So
and then
let me
in the
take
supplemental
Wicked
that
off
we
there.
did, and then in the supplemental that we did directly after that episode, we talked about how it was going to be Wicked.
Yeah. Which the supplemental came out before the episode.
Oh, that's right, it did.
So
Never mind.
I have a list of about 20 movies on my notes on my phone that people have given me this week that are not on this wheel. So bear with me. But right now, we are currently about to spin the wheel.
Spin it. Spin.
If I spin it here, I'm not going to be able to record it in OBS at the same time. It might, if it crashes my computer.
Well, let's just leave people hanging on for more and stay tuned for a reel later this week revealing what the next movie will be.
Dude, okay, yeah. I tried to look up OBS on my computer, and your audio you said, how are you going to make a reel this week knowing what, and it glitched. So yeah, we're just going to spin the wheel on here. I'll take a screenshot.
Or
Post
we
as a
cannot spin it
screenshot.
on here at all and wait until we're done recording. Leave people in suspense.
Oh, okay.
It's always an option. Dude, we are at
An
like
hour and
2
20.
hours.
Yeah, we gotta cut it. We gotta cut it off.
No,
Wait,
dude,
did
I've
you
been
say two?
I've been recording for 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's not right. Yeah.
Anywho, I guess we're gonna wrap it up because this is getting long. It's getting lengthy. We love the movie. We love you.
Such a
We're
good
thankful
movie.
for you. We appreciate you.
I'd hug you and squeeze you and call you my own.
It's my favorite bunny, and I'm gonna die.
Yes, you got the
Cuddle him in
reference.
George.
You got
Sure
the
did. My mom
reference.
used to hug me and say that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But yeah, after we get off here, we're gonna spin the wheel.
It's also like 10:30.
Yeah, it's late
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
whatever
it is.
day it is we're recording this. Ooh.
Tuesday, March 11th.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Give us 5
Smash
stars.
that like button
Leave a comment. Talk about how good and funny we
on
are.
Spotify, YouTube.
And please share our
gas us up.
stuff. It helps increase our reach.
Dude, we're hitting crazy numbers.
We're getting really good numbers, but we can, not to sound like Scott Stapp, but we need you to do it so you can take us higher. Because we welcome those 5 stars with arms wide open. I'm stuck in my own prison.
Oh my god.
This is my sacrifice.
Stop it!
Okay.
I only got the first 2. I'm not in the middle scene. The dad rock.
It's okay.
I'm through with standing in line to clubs I'll never get in. Everyone knows Nickelback.
One of
Anywho,
the best shows
love
I
you
have
all.
ever seen was Nickelback. Like, I'm not a Nickelback fan. Dude, when it comes to production and putting on a show, I swear to God, nobody does it better than Nickelback. But that's a story for another time. This has been another episode of the Admit One podcast. I have been Tristan. That has been Jaden. And you guys have been fantastic.
We love you.
Love you more.